A 27-year-old Bridgeport man's first-degree murder conviction and life prison sentence has been upheld, but the Nebraska Supreme Court did modify one part of the sentencing. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, the Nebraska Supreme Court has rejected claims by Zachary Mueller that there was insufficient evidence for his first-degree murder conviction, among other claims. In March 2017, Mueller was sentenced to life in prison for the 2015 murder of Pedro Dominguez after a jury convicted him of shooting the man and stuffing his body in a barrel and disposing it in a creek near his home. In October, the High Court heard an appeal citing 4 assignments of errors in the case, including insufficient evidence for a first-degree murder conviction, and that the Morrill County District Court imposed an excessive sentence for his lesser convictions. Today, the High Court affirmed his convictions and rejected his claims that his life sentence was excessive. However, they did agree with his attorney that Mueller should have been given time credit served for the 91 days he spent in a Wyoming jail before being transferred to Nebraska, and modified his sentence accordingly. Unless Mueller's sentence is pardoned, it is unlikely that he will ever be released from prison. Well, back in August of 2017, we brought you the story about the father-son duo that launched their Scottsbluff-based Great Plains Distillery and their Vamoose vodka. Nearly a year and a half later, their offerings have expanded.
This barrel here, we're doing our first bottling today of our whiskey. It's a small batch whiskey. It's been aged more than 6 months. It's a real tasty item. People are going to really like it.
The product is called Landmark Whiskey, with an homage to Chimney Rock on the label, and owners Phil Mitchell and Austin Propp say this is their first of many batches they hope to offer the public in years to come. But unlike the quick turnaround on their vodka, making a quality whiskey takes time.
The key ingredient is corn. That's the number one ingredient, and then we blend it with other grains, and we cook that for about a week, and then we can distill it, and then we got to bottle it, age it, barrel it and age it, then bottle it.
The first batch was made in late March, early April, and Propp says he'd rate it between a mid to top shelf whiskey.
I would say in between that Jack Daniels and Maker's Mark, and that's kind of where the price point is too. So it suits.
And since this is their first crack at whiskey, their first batch will be a limited supply.
There'll be limited bottles that we'll have out there, probably 300 to 400 bottles total for this first run.
But the plan is to get the second and third batches out to market just as soon as the aging process allows.
We have a couple more backed up, and we'll be ordering more barrels in, so we're going to just keep filling. We're going to try and hold some back from every batch. That way it also ages longer. And the older it is, the better it is. That's just the way it is. So,
Landmark Whiskey will only be sold out of their Scottsbluff location, and you can coordinate your orders by contacting them via GreatPlainsDistillery.com. Well, coming up after the break, Bill Boyer will be in with your weekend weather forecast. Don't touch that dial. KNEB.TV News will be back right after this.
At Platte Valley Bank, we know when you need a loan, time is of the essence. We are locally owned with decisions made right here at the bank. Our lenders are experienced, efficient individuals who are committed to our customers. Our flexible lending policies make it possible to fulfill loan requests, big or small, quickly. Whether you want to purchase a car, home, or even start a business, our committed associates are here to help. Stop into any location today and see what Platte Valley Bank can do for you.
No matter what job I've got to do, my John Deere 5E tractor can do it all. Whether I'm cutting, moving feed, or building a fence. Using my 5E means my work gets done faster at a price I can afford, and that works for me.
Visit 21st Century Equipment in Alliance, Torrington, Scottsbluff, and Bridgeport, or visit 21stcenturyequipment.com.
Pool together all your money with a friend and invest in 2 Arby's French dip and Swiss sandwiches for just $6. It's the perfect get-rich-quick on sandwiches scenario. Arby's, we have the meats.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the Arby's Weather Center. Arby's, we have the meats.
Well, we'll jump right into our forecast here this evening, and clear skies. Not much to complain about there. Low temperatures dipping down into the teens, not quite as cold as where we were this morning. We have a nice quiet weekend, really. It's going to be a bit chilly, not as cold though as what we've been the last couple of days. In a really mainly dry stretch here before we start to see some activity next week. 28 yesterday after a morning low of 11, 41 and 14 would be your normal highs and lows. Picked up another couple of hundredths of an inch precip in that snow yesterday early. 0.2 for the month, 1886 now for the year here at the station. We've actually had over 21 inches of rain and moisture for the 2018 calendar year. 35 in Grand Junction right now, 27 in Scottsbluff, 17 in Valentine, 25 over in Lincoln. Here in the Panhandle in eastern Wyoming, 18 in Gordon, 19 in Chadron, 28 though down in Cheyenne, so slightly warmer conditions there. Winds not too bad out of the east-southeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour, but just this little bit of wind enough to drop these wind chills down into the teens to near 20 degrees. So it is very chilly in terms of that wind. It feels cold and it kind of cuts through you right now. And that isn't really going to change as we're going to have, I think, a few more winds around here over the next couple of days. Clouds are going to stay off to our southeast, I think, for tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow. Lows are going to fall into the teens tonight. Shouldn't see many single digits. We were just below 0 overnight last night in Alliance in early this morning, maybe 9 up in Valentine. Most of us close to that 10 to 15 degree mark. A little bit warmer here in pockets, closer to 20 from Harrisburg over towards Albin and LaGrange for tonight. For tomorrow then, we're going to deal with sunshine to start the day and really sunshine to end the day. It's going to be another clear day tomorrow. Not much happening in the way of activity to be concerned about during the daylight hours, and then even as we get towards dark tomorrow night, skies are going to remain clear and nothing really happening in terms of weather. Touch breezier tomorrow maybe, so it won't feel quite as warm as these low 40 readings are going to look like on the actual thermometer. May feel just a touch cooler, near 40 in Albin, 44 Bridgeport and Scottsbluff for tomorrow. So some nicer temperatures at least than where we've been the last couple of days. Clear skies, nothing doing tonight, no problems. 16 for a low, light and variable winds. Blue skies tomorrow, sunshine and 44. Notice those winds about 10 to 20, so it won't feel quite as warm as 44. And then our 7-day forecast, we have sunshine continuing through the end of the weekend and into early next week. Now by Wednesday, late in the day Wednesday, we'll see a frontal system approach the area. Might see a few late day snow showers and some breezy conditions Thursday as we fall back into the 30s into low 40s, but really nothing major coming up the next at least 5 to 7 days. And probably even through next weekend, which will put us another week closer to Christmas, and then we'll probably start to get a little more active as we get towards the following week after next.
You never know when you'll need an extra French dip in Swiss. It could get lost in the car or eaten by a confused stranger. Stuff happens to sandwiches. That's why Arby's made you 2 French dip and Swiss sandwiches for just $6. For only $6, you'll always have a spare French dip and Swiss until you eat it. You'll never have to be afraid. Arby's, we have the meats.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees, and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing.
Get your jingle on this Christmas season at TC & More. With our wide variety of games, homemade lotions and soaps, willow tree figurines, clothing, gift cards, and much, much more. Let us simplify your shopping experience as we have gifts for everyone on your list. Check us out on Facebook. We have free gift wrapping, great customer service, where we say Merry Christmas. Please shop local this Christmas season. TC and more at 1621 Broadway in downtown Scottsbluff.
The leaves are turning and the temperatures are cooling, so it's time to come harvest the deals at the Viera Wireless Fall Savings Sale. Right now, get your family high-speed, truly unlimited mobile data for just $35 per line with 4 lines. Prices have never been lower for unlimited data. Plus, trade in your current phone and get up to $500 off the latest iPhone and Samsung models. Those are incredible savings on the most popular and advanced smartphones. Don't miss out on our Fall Savings Sale. Hurry into Viera today.
Welcome back. A brother and sister have been identified as the suspects in an early Thursday morning stabbing of 2 people at a Torrington bar. Torrington police say Andy Palamo of Cheyenne and Amy Palamo of Scottsbluff are being held in the Scottsbluff County Detention Center. Authorities were called to the alley behind Mint Bar on Main Street around 1:15 a.m. Thursday regarding an assault including 2 stabbing victims. Upon arrival, officers had 2 victims with stab wounds. Both were treated at the scene before the pair were taken to community hospital for treatment. Well, local volunteers, businesses, and organizations work together each year to make the Knights of Columbus toy drive a success. And last night, a check for more than $2,000 was presented from Abate District 10 towards the effort. Spokesman Terry Schaub says actual toy donations were down this year, so their local chapter added funds from their coffers to make the donations a difference for kids in need for this Christmas.
Tonight's check presents to the Knights of Columbus the monetary donations. Back in October, first part of November, collected probably a trailer load of toys for the Knights of Columbus, delivered it to them. These are the monetary donations that we are presenting to the Knights of Columbus tonight.
And for weeks, the Riverside Discovery Center has been preparing for their annual Wild Lights at the Zoo. And after much anticipations, things will kick off this evening at the Riverside Discovery Center. Zoo Director Anthony Mason promises a magical evening of holiday lights, a visit from Santa, piping hot chocolate, and a whole lot more. He says they're adding a new event to Wild Lights 2018 as well.
We did a dinner this year during Spooktacular, and it was really popular. People loved it, so we wanted to do one during Wild Lights as well. The Jolly Old Fashioned Turkey Dinner is each Saturday during Wild Lights, and that's from 4 to 5 p.m. before Wild Lights starts. And it's exactly what it sounds like. We'll have a turkey dinner along with side dishes and drinks. And if you get tickets to that, you get into the dinner. And then your ticket also includes your admission into Wild Lights. So as soon as the dinner is over, you can just go straight into Wild Lights afterwards.
Wild Lights will run from 5 to 7 p.m. every Friday and Saturday from now until Christmas. Well, straight ahead, Hannah and Alex will recap the week that was in Ag News during the Friday 5. I'll be back with that right after this on KNEB.TV News.
Care Heilbrunn, State Farm agent, is here to protect all the moving parts of your life. With auto, home, life, and financial services, Care Heilbrunn and her team make it simple to bring together what matters to you.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Western Hearing Clinic Ag Desk. Western Hearing Clinic, the Panhandle's choice for better hearing, helping you hear what matters most.
Well, welcome to our on-location edition of Friday 5, but it's still presented by the Nebraska Corn Board. Our farm team has been out and about this week covering events all across the state, so we're going to revamp this week's Friday 5.
That's right. We're going to let the rest of our team help us tell all about the events that they've been covering this week.
But before we do that, let's start out with our number 5 story.
Ranking Democrats of the House Ag Committee, Colin Peterson, predicts the Farm Bill will be considered next week.
He told reporters this week the bill is nearly finalized and should be filed Monday, with the House consideration Wednesday and Senate will follow on Thursday.
Peterson says the Farm Bill would rename the Margin Protection Program and change the way it operates in an effort to better help dairy farmers.
Now we'll start with our feature coverage, and Bryce Duskett has our number 4 story.
The Nebraska Power Farming Show was held at the Lancaster Event Center this week in Lincoln. The show covers 9.2 acres, making it the second largest indoor farm show in the nation. There were 95 new exhibitors this year and over 60 new ag products featured. Plus 19 seminars were offered throughout the week. Also featured this year was an Ag Innovation Pitch Competition with a $20,000 grand prize and a $5,000 People's Choice Award. You can catch our feature interviews online at ruralradio.com.
Thanks, Bryce. Now we will hear from Susan Littlefield, who's been out in central Nebraska.
Well, thanks, Hannah and Alex. A new report from the Nebraska Farm Bureau during their annual convention showed retaliatory tariffs imposed by U.S. trading partners in response to U.S. steel and aluminum tariffs have cut Nebraska farm-level revenue between $700 million and $1 billion in 2018. Also taking place in Kearney, the Nebraska Cattlemen's annual meeting. The Natural Resource Committee has been working with cattlemen in the state of North Carolina to have some workings in place in light of the Smithfield lawsuit in North Carolina. There was 2 days of Cattlemen's College that talked everything from BQA training to manure management. And then the rest of the meetings included education from the state's cattle industry and from a national perspective. We'll send it back to you in Lincoln.
Thanks, Susan. And back to the Nebraska Power Farming Show with Chad Moyer and our number 1 story.
It was an idea that started in Iowa, and Farm Credit Services of America decided to bring it to Nebraska, to the Nebraska Power Farming Show this year. It was the Ag Innovation Pitch Contest. 6 finalists brought their ideas from their young ag tech startup companies and pitched it to the crowd and also to a series of judges. And in the end, there were 2 prizes that were awarded, a $20,000 grand prize, which went to Lucas Fricke from Chorchek, and then there was also a $5,000 People's Choice Award, and that was awarded to Hitchpen. I'm Chad Moyer.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chad. Well, it's certainly been a busy week for our farm team, and we do appreciate the opportunity to cover all of these events. A special thanks to everyone who stopped by to chat with us, too.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Friday 5, presented by the Nebraska Corn Board. We'll be right back here next week to recap more ag news headlines, feature stories, but until then, have a great weekend.
This is Mike. Mike likes his car. Mike likes to save money. And Mike likes to breathe. So Mike fills up with E15 with 15% American ethanol. The clean octane in E15 gives Mike the performance he wants from his engine and the clean air he wants for his family. Better yet, E15 costs less at the pump. Higher octane, cleaner air, lower cost. E15 sure gives Mike a lot to like. Discover E15 with American ethanol.
Regional West is one of 3 Level 2 trauma centers in Nebraska.
We have all the resources here 24 hours a day to address any traumatic injury.
From emergency medical services to advanced medical imaging and surgery to acute care and rehabilitation.
It's comforting to know that if an accident happens here, our families, our friends, our neighbors, and even we ourselves will get expert trauma care and rehabilitation services right here at Regional West.
It's a friendly town, that's for sure. Not too big, not too small. Seems like everybody knows your name.
We stick together through thick and thin. That's the way
Well, let's take a peek at what's happening on your weekend community calendar. That's a look at today's community calendar, brought to you by First State Bank, honoring those who give back. Nominate your community champion at fsbcentral.com.
Winter weather brings winter clothing to compliments for you and your home. And now all fall and winter apparel is 20% off. We have beautiful and original ladies' fashions that appeal to women of all ages and sizes. Gift cards are also the perfect gift idea. Get your home ready for the holidays with holiday decor, now 20% off. Some exclusions apply. At Compliments, we are open 7 days a week, 9 to 5:30, extended hours until 7 on Thursday evening, and Sunday noon to 5 through Christmas.
The growth and prosperity of our community is dependent on the reinvestment of local dollars into our local economy. When you open a high-interest savings account at Platte Valley Bank, we turn around and loan your money back to our community for new construction, business expansion, home loans, in backing agriculture, and much more. Come save with us at Platte Valley Bank and know that you are doing business with a local bank with local decisions that reinvests your money here in our community.
And finally tonight, for our first Star Student of the Week for the month of December, we head on over to Scottsbluff High School to honor not one, not two, but 3 young men whose actions struck a chord with their nominator. For this week's Star Student of the Week, we head to Scottsbluff High School to honor Jeremiah Delzer, Garrett Nelson, and Keegan Reifschneider. These 3 are all captains of the Scottsbluff Bearcats state runner-up football team and were nominated by John Massey. During Scottsbluff's playoff game against Omaha Roncalli, star quarterback Jack Dotzler suffered a season-ending injury and was taken to Regional West for surgery. The next day, the Bearcats captains went to the hospital to offer encouragement to Dotzler.
We were in a group chat with all the captains on the team, and I decided it would be a good thing to go visit him, knowing that he had a really bad injury and he was going into surgery, and just wanted to make sure he was okay while he was still in town.
I just thought it was really cool because you never really get to see someone that you played the night before in a different light of being like really friendly, and their family was really friendly and happy to see us. So it just felt really good that we could go there and be supportive and just see how he was doing and making sure that he wasn't hurt and that he was going to be able to be back next year. So
Reifschneider says over the years, their coaches taught them about the importance of exemplifying good sportsmanship, both on and off the field. But they had no idea the impact it would make in the case of their visit to Dotzler.
Yeah, sportsmanship was a big thing with this year's team, and we admired great talent, and he was a very great player, and it was hard to see him go down like that. And so, like Garrett said, we just thought it was the right thing to do to go up there and see him, and it was a great experience. The family was welcoming, he was welcoming, it was pretty good.
And these guys know that it could have just as easily been any one of them taking a hit like that.
Besides him, I haven't seen anybody taken off in a stretcher my whole high school career, thank goodness. But definitely felt empathy for him getting carted off, but as soon as he was off the field, he was back focusing on the game, knowing that we had a good job to finish.
John Massey says it was a no-brainer for him to nominate these guys after what he saw that November night.
For the whole season, we've enjoyed watching these young men play on the field and really exhibit great sportsmanship on the field. And these guys took the time out, I think, the next morning and went to visit him and spend a little time with him. And I just thought that showed great sportsmanship and deserves recognition.
Congratulations once again to Keegan Reifschneider, Garrett Nelson, and Jeremiah Delzer, the Platte Valley Company's Star Students of the Week. And if you'd like to nominate a deserving K-12 student to be the next Star Student of the Week, you can find nomination forms online at www.pvbank.com. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.